Street Fighter 6 will be upon us in less than 2 months, and the term overexcited does not even begin to describe how I feel right now. So, what do you do with all this trembling energy? Well, you look at every piece of Street Fighter 6 content. That's what. And with that in mind, I thought it would be a great idea to answer all the most pertinent questions regarding the game. Consider this your comprehensive guide to everything you need to know about Street Fighter 6. Welcome to another DashFight video. I'm Jammers, and I will be answering the internet's most asked questions about Street Fighter 6. According to all the material and advertising around the game, we can say with some certainty that Street Fighter 6 will have crossplay and will be available on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X and S. This is great as everyone who wants the chance to play the game will be able to do so. However, it's bad news for our Nintendo Switch friends as there is currently no indication that it will be available on that console. But never say never, eh? There are 18 characters already reported to be in Street Fighter 6, and they are Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, E Honda, Blanka, Dhalsim, Luke, Juri, Guile, Zangief, Cammy, DJ, and for the newcomers, we have Jamie, Kimberly, JP, Marissa, Manon, and Lily. All the original 8 World Warriors return, which is a treat, and with DLC certain also to be released, we could see some new and old characters to warm the heart. I have a question for you. Who would you like to see as a DLC character for Street Fighter 6? That's a great question. Why is there so much hype around Street Fighter 6? Naturally, there would be hype around a new addition to such an iconic franchise, but it quickly became clear that the excitement was not simply from the competitive crowd, but even from the more casual audience. We don't have the game to play right now, but at a glance, some of the bigger differences include new game modes like World Tour, Fighting Grounds, and the very fun looking Extreme Battle mode where you can set up wild obstacles for yourself while playing. It has more control schemes, upgraded graphics, new fighting mechanics for veterans to geek out to, new and intriguing characters, and so much more, including the addition of classic retro games for free in the arcade section of Fighters Hub. The game is a dream for a wide array of fans. The truth is, nobody knows. Yet. We have hints of various story beats. For one, we know that the story mode will heavily feature Luke. We get this from interviews with the developers in which they reveal that Luke is the main character, and he is also the one World Tour players will interact with the most at first. We also know that with Bison said to have perished in Street Fighter V, he might not feature in Street Fighter 6, and we have a new villain who is likely to be JP. Also, there is the Ken angle, and from the little we know, he's on the run after being framed for a crime he did not commit. So, not to worry guys, Eliza didn't leave him and take Mel with her. How will the World Tour and other game modes interact with the story? And what will be the fate of our favourite characters? We'll just have to wait and find out. This one is easy. Street Fighter 6 will be available from the 2nd of June 2023, which, when you think about it, it's right round the corner. So, yay? According to one of the producers of the game, Takayuki Nakayama, Street Fighter 6 takes place after the events of Street Fighter 3. So, in chronological order, the Street Fighter series goes something like this: Street Fighter Alpha series, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 3, and Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 3's story is loose at best, but it takes place a long time after the Second World Warrior tournament. In the story, a new fighter, Alex, decides to fight in the Third World Warrior tournament to have a chance to battle the new evil secret organization wreaking havoc around the world. Known as the Illuminati, it was headed by the atrociously designed Gil. This explains why the characters have aged significantly as some time has passed. We don't know how much time, and we can suspect that it's probably more than the faces of the characters let on. But let's just say each Street Fighter character has great genes and they look way younger than they are. We don't know about this one, There have been 2 so far, one from the 7th to the 10th of October 2022 and the other from the 16th to the 18th of December 2022. And it is possible that there will be another before the June release of the game. This is based on the fact that Street Fighter V also had about 3 betas, but Street Fighter V was supposed to have 1 and only had more due to technical difficulties. So there is that to consider. But there have been some whispers that an open beta might be available soon. We can only cross our fingers and knock on wood, eh? This is a pretty nuanced question. How do we determine the age of Street Fighter characters? It is a little difficult because Street Fighter never tells us exactly what year it is set in, and this can make it quite a hassle to figure out how old people are supposed to be. Also, generally speaking, since Street Fighter 2, Capcom has been very reluctant to give any age to any of the characters, as it would force them to age them and potentially retire them. Therefore, we can say that the Street Fighter characters are ageless, like the X-Men or Batman, who have existed since the 40s and 60s and are still yo-yoing between being youngsters at the start of their lives and older gentlemen and women. That said, saying they're ageless is no fun, so instead, we'll make some educated speculations. We know that Street Fighter was released in 1987, and according to Capcom, Ryu was 23 years old at the time. It was also known that when Street Fighter 2 rolled around, Ryu was 27. It was at this point that things get tricky because before Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2, the events of Street Fighter Alpha happened. We can assume that Ryu was 24 to 26 around this time, and since Street Fighter 3 is set a few years after that, we can say that Ryu was about 34 there. Now, with Street Fighter 4 and 5 happening before Street Fighter 3, we'll have to assume that he was about 29 when that happened, and was perhaps 31 or 32 during the events of Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 6 takes place after Street Fighter 3, and if the trailers are anything to go by, quite some time must have passed between the Third World Warrior tournament and the events of Street Fighter 6. Going by all that, we can make the educated guess that Ryu's somewhere in his very late 30s to very early 40s. If you want to just count from his birth date, which is 1964, then he's 59 years old, which is wild considering how he looks and what he can do. Using our educated guesses, then we can talk about the ages of everyone else. We'll look at the age of all the World Warriors going by their position on the character select screen. Ryu should be about 40 years old. Honda, who is 4 years older than Ryu, should be 44 to 45 years old. Blanket is 2 years younger than Ryu and should be about 38. Guile is the same age as Honda, so that's 44 to 45. Ken is a year younger than Ryu, so he's about 39. Chun-Li is 4 years younger than Ryu, so she should be about 36. Zangief is one of the older characters and was born in 1956, which would, using our formula, put him around 48 to 49 years old. Dhalsim is even older and should be around 52 years. Cammy is the youngling who is a whopping 10 years younger than Ryu, so that will put her around 30. And may I just say, for a 30-year-old, she has been through a lot. Finally, we have DJ, who is the same age as Ken, so he should be about 39. The last issue we might encounter with the age thing is that there's no indication about how long there is between Street Fighter 3 and 6, so we just have to shoot in the dark here. That said, Ryu does look 40, and Cammy has the look of a 30-year-old with all the confidence that age brings. There are currently 3 versions of Street Fighter 6 available for pre-purchase. The first is the regular version, which will set you back $59.99 USD. Then there's the deluxe version, which will grant you the game, special titles and stickers, and a year 1 character pass at $84.99 USD. Finally, there's the Ultimate Edition, which grants you all the stuff from the deluxe version and what they call a year 1 Ultimate Pass, and this will cost you $104.99 USD. It is believed that the character passes mean that you will not have to pay extra for any DLC character for the first year. Year 1 Ultimate Pass may mean you will not have to pay for any DLC content for the first year, including stages, outfits, and so on. There are so many ways to answer this, but let's start with this simple fact. Street Fighter is more popular than it is niche. Thanks to the cultural icon that was Street Fighter 2, the franchise has enjoyed success and notoriety beyond the gaming circle, and has fans from all walks of life. Street Fighter 6, with its fresh ideas, new characters, insane graphics, and great approach towards bringing in new players, there is certainly a lot to be excited about regarding Capcom's latest fighting game. Metro City seems to be the main location of the game. That's not all. though as the pre-order trailer showed that there will be other locations like Italy and France. But it does seem that most of the open world stuff will be done in Metro City. I wonder if Cody is still mayor. No, Street Fighter will cost you money, but it did raise the question of if free-to-play is the way for fighting games to go. Street Fighter might not have done it with Street Fighter 6, but with the expected arrival of Project L, which has been confirmed to be free-to-play, it is possible that more AAA fighting game titles might join the free-to-play bandwagon. But with how good Street Fighter 6 looks so far, you wouldn't mind dropping some money on it, would you? Those are all the questions we have time for. If you have a question on Street Fighter 6, why not ask us in the comments? That's it for today. I've been Jammers, and I'll see you next time.